Hey Nash, you know the voice is legendary. I created all these characters off of the movies that I used to watch, but now I'm rocking my fam. My man Ramsey, Day One Rockefeller, he came out with his own characters himself. He got a whole comic book line. Check it out. Show him.
Oh, yeah.
All these different characters, my man created it, and now he's putting them up for you so you can read them. He's got novels, he's got all kinds of things, so please check it out, man. Be the first ones to get these copies. I know holiday season's coming around. The kids would love this, man. Ramsey, man, I'm proud of you. And you got merch too, look at that. You got the shirts too, with sweaters to match?
Mm-hmm. And we got the hats.
Hats are big now. Hats became like the new thing. Everybody's making statements on hats. So you see that? You got a billboard right there. So check him out. Check out the first copy, which is Starman. Where's that? Power Star? Where's it at?
The first issue of Power Star, man. It's somewhere around here. But
well,
make sure you go get
it. Find that. Yeah, find it. Find it and then copy it.
Word up. First issue of Power Star is the best way to get, you know what I mean, get into the comic book brand and understand the universe. Trust me. You want to get Power. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Life Comics Spotlight. Today we're diving deep into the legend, the protector, the king of the stores himself, Power Store. And, I'm going to showcase, give you a tidbit of his story. How he begun, how he started. But before I go on, please hit the like and subscribe button. Hit that like and subscribe button. The like button is free. If you support Life Comics, I would appreciate it. Okay, so, today, like I said, today's spotlight is Power Store. The first issue, right here. Right here. The front cover. Back cover, bang, bang, right there. He's the first hero of Life Comics, for sure. When I first started Power Store, I started creating him around like 2012, 2013. I was in the zone. I had him in the back of my mind, for a lot of years though, before that. I just had the idea of how am I going to present him, and I had so much ideas for a Power Store. It's very important, that y'all grab this first issue, by the way. This begins everything, the whole Life Comics universe. You'll even understand it even more, and yes, it's a connected universe, by the way. So, he's from Brooklyn. And that's where Power Store is from. Daniel Theodore. That's his first name and last name. Daniel Theodore. His powers, he's the king of the stores. You know, he's has all the stars in his genes. You know, he's all types of stars. You know, he got cosmic powers first and foremost, but it's stars. You know, you know, that's how he gets to where he's getting to. You know what I mean? When he's trying to fight enemies and all types of things. You know, when he uses powers, a lot of the powers he uses, are star powers. Like literally, you see stars when he's shooting. You know what I mean? When he's fighting the enemy, you see stars. You see all the abilities that he has, and there's more to him as I'm growing him as a the hero that I want him to be even more. But yeah, he's Life Comics' first superhero. And yeah, it's very important that I get that out the way. And what makes him different from all the heroes is that he's a king of the stars. He comes from a place where it actually looks like an actual store. There's all types of shapes when it comes to stores. But he's from a store. Starland. That's his home, Starland. And he has a lot of people living there. That civilization and all types of things. But that's his main hub, way past the Earth. He, yeah, he's the king of the stars for real. And as you progress and read more of Power Store and dig deep and dive into his life, you get to see how powerful he is. By the way, once you see book by book by book, you'll see that Power Store is no joke at all. At all, It's very important to know that, Trauma that he faces, was, in his first issue was that he didn't have a father. He thought he didn't have a father, but his mother hid it from him for so long. She hid that, that answer to the question he wanted and needed for so long because she wanted to protect him. She wanted him to grow normal, and he lives in Brooklyn, by the way, if I didn't mention that before. But he comes from Brooklyn. And, she kept a secret for this long, and that's how things went down, When he first got his abilities, he saw like a UFO crash that was happening there. It's like it actually happened, right near his house. So even during that time, and it showed up in the news, he still wanted to go out and see what it was. He wanted to, speculate things of that nature. So his mother kept trying to stop him from even going to visit that because she had an idea. She had an idea who it was that landed that appeared to be a UFO when it wasn't. Power Star isn't your average hero. And like I said, as you progress and check out all the books, you're gonna see that he's not your regular hero. He's way more than what you think. No, no disrespect to all the other heroes in the comic book universe, no doubt. But Power Star is beyond different. He's strong. He can read the stars. He could be, the stars talk to him. Each stars. If there's trouble, he'll look up and the stars will guide him. It'll spell out in the sky and he can actually read it and it will say what the issue is. And he's the only one that can read it. So that's another thing he can do. Another thing that makes him different from all heroes. He can read the stars. He's phenomenal. He's still growing as a hero. He's still learning more about his abilities. But to go back to his origin, Power Store, went out after the crash that was thought out to be a UFO crash. He went out to go check it out. And then he went and he hit by a rock. And while hiding by the rock, he saw a King Power Store. The King Power Store was fighting a threat. And it actually had him, it actually landed in the earth. He was outside the stores. And while he's fighting outside the stores, he actually just fall and kept fighting until he got to Earth, and the fight kept going as he was destroying his enemy, King Power Store. And he's watching all of this, and he gets stopped by a cop who think he's trespassing or doesn't want him to see this because they want to keep whatever is happening a secret. The secret elite, the shadow government. So as he did that, as he as he got, as the cops told him, freeze, he stopped. But the King Power Store noticed what happened after he destroyed his enemy. He looked at the situation that was happening with the police stopping Daniel Theodore, which is Power Store. King Power Store grabs Daniel, and flies him out of the situation, and protected him. And once he got to a safe place, he removed his mask. And while he removed his mask, it ended up being his father. He found out, and he was in shock. He was like, "Father? Like space? Like stars?" So King Power Store was explaining to him who he was, where he come from, and how powerful he is, Daniel. And during that whole moment, that conversation, he got a chance to pass on the chain, the star medal, medallion. He passed it on to his son, knowing that he was going to be the rightful next person to take over Starland and the stars itself. So I guess King Power Store, which is Power Store's father, gifted that to him and said, "You know what? It's time to pass this down to you. You're next. You're taking over the mantle and passing it off to you." And I guess somewhat that was kind of his way also of saying, "Sorry, I haven't been here for all these years." And he did it. He gives Daniel Theodore, which is Power Store, the chain, and walks away. He actually goes and visit Daniel Theodore's mother. So after that, Daniel Theodore put on the medallion, the star medallion, and was like befuddled, just confused. And he put the star medallion on, and then all is he changed. The suit comes up, everything. His mind changes, his whole genes, everything is just changed. It's like he transformed to Power Store, full suit and everything. And as soon as that happens, he gets to questioning things. He starts thinking about things. And as soon as that mantle was passed down to him, King Power Store enemies came looking for Power Store, the new Power Store, which is Daniel Theodore, his son. And already trying to stop him and attack him, because they know that Power Store is a threat, a very big threat, So, he fights a lot of enemies. A lot of enemies start this first book, and he wins. He wins. The first enemy that tries to get at him is, Dr. Yin Yang. Dr. Yin Yang is like a furry, weird-looking creature who actually comes from the moon. And he comes down to Earth because one of his leader, told him, "Go ahead and destroy Power Store." And the person sending the message to Dr. Yin Yang didn't care the age or anything. So Dr. Yin Yang attacked Power Store. Once again, Power Store is shocked, not knowing what the hell this thing is. This big monster, or whatever the case is. Furry monster, with a weird face. Dr. Yin Yang. And they fight. They continue to fight, Of course, Power Store have a little issues because he's still learning, he's still getting there. But he eventually stops Dr. Yin Yang. It didn't end up too good for him, But is Dr. Yin Yang alive or not? You'd have to find out, definitely. But this first issue right here, you're going to need to go and get, for sure. I want to also, before I even go further, I also want to add more things to Power Store's ability, that I forgot to add on to, that's flight. What is the other thing I was thinking about? Store-powered strikes. He has also light speed reflexes, He also got it from his father. He has the great leadership skills. Great leadership skills. and becomes more of a leader after this. Okay, so this one to add all those things, to his ability roster for Power Store. And his values, Before I even go to the values, I want to talk more about the first issue. So like I said, he fights Dr. Yin Yang. He wins that fight. Then he goes after, and then he also got the Shadow Elite, the Shadow Government Elite. That's also, and within the comic book universe, within Life Comics, they call the Shadow Government Elite, and they're always in the background, always prying, always they look at everything, they know everything going on, things of that nature. They've been following all heroes that support the universe, spying on them, in plain sight. We got drones with a big eye that follow, multiple drones with a big eye that follows where the heroes at, whether they're fighting or not. Because some of them, the elite knows that their true identities and all types of things. Not everybody's true identities, but a great few. And they're plotting, and now they got word that there's a new hero in town called Power Store, and and they know about King Power Store, but now they feel like, oh no, the mantle was passed on. This Power Store might be younger, stronger, and more willing. So now they're observing him, and they're doing everything they can. They don't want Power Store destroyed. So the Shadow Global Elite goes and they got communication with everybody. They even got communication in space. They got communication with the multiverse, the magic world, all the worlds that's a part of my comic book universe, So they go ahead and contact, they contact a friend in space, the Shadow Global Elite, that is. They contact one of their friends in space to send somebody to come and destroy him. And the person that ended up coming to destroy him, that person was huge. I'm talking about, forgive me, was a giant, a big giant. I'm talking about bigger than the buildings itself, and it flew from space, and his name is called the Great Savage. He flew out of space. He came down, started crushing buildings already. He was looking above buildings, and Power Store caught wind, and he was shocked. He was like, oh my gosh, am I ready to fight this thing? the Great Savage. So he goes back to his parents to try and get more information about what's happening here. And his father knows, when he goes back home, Daniel Theodore, Power Star, when he goes back home, he goes and sees his mother and his father. But long story short, he speaks to the father, and the father tells him he knows what that is. It's called the Great Savage. He's not the only one. There's a lot of great savages, and they're from off-world. So he fought one of these things before. And he gave Power Star a little bit of advice, and he also showed Power Star that he believed in him and inspired him and motivation. And that made Power Star leave the house and go fight this great savage. He started dealing with issues already, like just going to see the Great Savage. And before I even go further about the Great Savage as well, King Power Store had had a group on Earth already that he, what is that word? Not only discovered, but trained, helped, groomed, as far as becoming the great them when they got their abilities. As far as the other heroes that's in, 4 or 5 of the heroes that's in the first issue, which is, the Supreme Elite. So Supreme Elite first appearance is in Power Store 1. But only the 5, heroes show up first, because Power Store, Supreme Elite is like 10 members. But on this issue, 5 of them showed up, and they showed up because King Power Store had a relationship with them for years ago and built, promises with all of them. They all was supposed to, when Daniel was a baby, Daniel Theodore, Power Store, was a baby, he got with this group, and before he left Earth, he helped this group, become the best them they could be, trained them with their abilities, and asked them for a promise to protect his kid, Daniel Theodore, who is Power Store. So they always had his back, or whatever the case is. And, you know, Power Star's father told him about that. Like, I got people protecting you here. You know, anytime you want to, summon them for help or anything, you can just tap that the middle of your chest with your star and say their name or whatever the case is. Or once you tap that middle, excuse me, once you tap the middle of your suit, the O will appear out of nowhere. They'll come and help you and aid you, or come in your aid. So while he's going to fight the Great Savage, he started, fighting the Great Savage already and was kind of losing already. So he thought he might have needed help. So he contacted the Supreme Elite, at least some of the members, the 5 members that made their appearance in the first issue, which is Miss Amazing, Chaotic the Great, Firewater. Who else? Firewater. King Justice. Yeah. So actually it was 4, actually, not even 5. It was actually 4 of the members that I know of. Yeah, it was 4 of the members that showed up to his aid. And they made the first appearance on this issue. But yeah, they came and they fought the Great Savage all together, and they end up losing. They all end up just losing because he's a giant, right? Then they all just trying to still use their abilities and still glue together as a team and work together. They didn't get there yet, So Power Star, laying on the floor, who was damaged from the fight, got up and gained his strength and got more stronger and destroyed the Great Savage. I mean, it was a wham, wham, bam. He was going crazy on him and destroyed the Great Savage. And after that, that's when he made his great appearance to the world. When the news got there and started showcasing who was this person that even interviewed him. And he's like, I'm Power Star. I'm here to stay, here to protect. And it's all love. Things of that nature. After that, after all the madness, Power Star goes home. Not even home. The day after, he goes back to school. Because he's in college. Daniel Theodore's in college. He was in his last year in college. He goes there, and when he goes there, he has a best friend there. That showcases in the beginning of the book. His best friend shows up. And then the end of the book, he goes back to school. His best friend comes out of nowhere and scares him, try to make a little, try to get silly. But Daniel had to go. And while Daniel had to go to class or whatever the case is, you get to see his best friend, true nature. You get to see his eyes. You get to see that something's about to come. Something's about to happen. Excuse me. Something's about to happen, So you have to wait for the second issue, which is out now as well. I got the volume 1 of Power Star trade paperback, which collects issues 2 through 6. So there's 5-6 issues in that book. More like 5 issues, all in one book. Power Star Volume 1. It's out now everywhere. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Thrift Books, all the stores that sell books. You just put my name. Ramses Francois. Ramses Francois. R-A-M-S-E-S. Francois, F-R-A-N-C-O-Y-S. And you'll be able to grab all the books and stuff and things of that nature. You see all the book titles that I did, old 1920 books. It's out now. You get to go and check it out. And shout out to Book Baby as well. You can go to Book Baby as well and grab the book. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As per Power Star, I like to tell you the whole thing, but I don't want to spoil even more because I need y'all to grab this book and see it for yourself. I'm not a big spoiler person. I like to surprise you. Not even show a page or anything, but yeah. In fact, let's show you some pages right now. All right. This is Power Star's father, Daniel Theodore. Forgive me, that's Power Star's name. This is King Power Star. This is his father. Right here is Daniel Theodore. And this is right here, you get to see the fights he's having. His father is having with the threat that brought him to Earth. Then you get to see him expose himself you know, to his son, letting him know that that's the father. And I'm the father. He's the father. No, is his father, whatever the case is. You get to see Power Store change up to Power Store right here as he wears the Store medallion. And you get to see Power Store become Power Store. You know? Yeah, you see Power Store become Power Store. As soon as he put that chain on, it changes him. You know, it brings him to a whole nother atmosphere. With Dr. Yin Yang, right here. There he goes. You know? There's so much, you know? So much. This Starland. This is where Power Store's from. There he goes up in the sky. You know? That's like the, you know, page right there. This is them, you know, worshiping the King of the Stars. You know? Then you see a Shadow Global Elite. Excuse me. Then you see the Shadow Global Elite with the big eye. Right there. And, you know, like I don't want to spoil the whole book for y'all, but I want to showcase the Great Savage. Here's the Great Savage. And this is Power Store. Trying to get at him, trying to fight, trying to defuse the situation. There goes the Supreme Elite. They come into Power Store's aid. Made a promise to King Power Store father to always protect them. So they're keeping their word and they show up as soon as Power Store figure out a way to summon them. Yeah, this Great Savage, you know, destroys the Supreme Elite. You know, I don't want to showcase too much, you know, but that's it. You know, it's Power Store. First issue. I'm proud of myself with this. You know, my you know, I want you to go with me, you know, as a writer, as an artist. And I got some things in plan. You know, I mean, I'm way beyond ahead as an artist now. I don't my art is beyond this now. Until you see the new books that I'm about to present, you will see my growth from writing and even the art. So I consider this my retro art for, you know, pretty much before I go further, you know. Power Star 1, things of that nature, you know. But yeah, he has a lot of enemies. Power Star has a lot of enemies, you know, so other than the ones that I already mentioned before, you know. So yeah, man, I hope that if you grab Power Star 1, I hope that you enjoyed it. And there's more to come. I got some huge books, you know, that I'm ready to go hard with that I'm about to present to y'all. And I can't wait. I mean, some real big books for the universe that's going to blow your mind. And, you know, I hope that you continue supporting me. You know, I'm up and coming. I got 20 books out right now. You know, I'm still cooking. I got some things I don't want to announce yet because it's going to be amazing. So I hope that you guys stick with me in this universe and understand it and get with it, you know, and all the support is appreciated. And I also got the merch before I even go further. We got that Power Store. We got the Life Comics. Ooh, I love this shirt. We got the merch. I'll add where you can get the merch at the end of the video. You know, but we have the Life Comics shirt right here. You know, right here. See that? See that? We have hoodies. We have hats. We have everything. Everything. And I'm gonna add webs. It's amazing. We have orange, baby blue, green. We have every color you can imagine when it comes to old 1820 designs of all the characters that you can get the merch from. You know, I hope that you guys can grab it. It's amazing. I love it. You know, it looks beautiful. The fabric is amazing. It's not your regular merch. You know, even the art, everything's just perfect. You know, you will not be disappointed. You probably want to get more. Trust me. The merch is so super fire. The hats, everything, the hoodies, the sweaters, the bed covers, the pillows. I got games. I got puzzles. You know, all of that. You know, like I said, I'm gonna add the web where you can get all that at the end of this video. The website, you know, for Life Comics, for you to get, you know, the merch. And you know, there's more coming with Life Comics. You know, look forward to more. You know, look forward to more characters. You know, the universe is going to expand, and it's going to be amazing. You know, but you can get Power Store 1 at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Walmart, Thrift Books, Target. every bookstore that you can imagine. You'll be able to get the first issue right here. You'll be able to see this boy. And it's amazing. You know what I mean? The gloss inside the book, you know, all of it. You know, the back cover right here. It's the front cover. You know, it's the Shadow Elite right here. It's the Global Shadow Elite right there. But yeah, once again, God bless y'all. And I hope that y'all grab the first issue. Like I said, it's at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Book Baby, BOOKBABY. You can get all these things, and I hope that you guys tune in for more spotlights that I'm gonna do for all the characters are part of the universe, so you can understand a bit more. And I hope that you guys can jump into my world and have your mind, you know, from what you're seeing in a whole different universe. You know, something that's like you probably never felt before, like or seen before. You know, I want to give you something different. It's all the characters and everything. I'm taking it. It's a lot of history as well that within the book, within the Life comics. You know, a lot of the characters have a lot of amazing histories and descendants of real legends. So with that said, once again, thank you for tuning in to Life Comic Spotlight for Power Store 1. And don't forget to grab the book. It's out there. You can find me once again under Ramses Francois. RAMSES, last name Francois. FRANCOIS. God bless y'all. More to come. Peace and love to you all.
Shouts out to Life Comics. Let me tell you why. This Power Star book right here, this right here, fire. One thing about comics is that it's like a bridge to our childhood, right? Being a man, I feel like, man, like people always try to say that you too old for stuff. You never too old for what brings you joy. And comics is one of those things. Make sure y'all tap in with Life Comics and get that Power Star. I ain't gonna lie. It's fire.